The third case I want to do for you is in some ways the hardest of the three. This is going to be the case where variable costs change. And let's suppose the price of milk goes up. Pretty important for making ice cream. So let's think about what happens when the price of milk goes up. Well, for this cost, just as for the fixed cost, we start now over in the firm quadrant because that's where supply comes from. Let's just suppose that the cost of making a pint of ice cream just everywhere becomes $1 more. So I'm going to shift everything up by $1. So what's going to happen, the whole cost structure just shifts up. I'm drawing it so the new minimum average total, I cram that in, average total cost curve is just straight up above the other one. And the minimum happens the same quantity as before. And what's going to happen here, watch what's happening, watch carefully. The new market supply curve is going to be above the old market supply curve by exactly the size of that upward shift of the supply curve. It's really important as you analyze these events. Map the shift of the marginal cost curve for the firm, map the market supply curve shift to be symmetrically, to be the same size vertically. So it's up $1 here, it's up $1 here. I'm just making up whatever it's that distance is the same. The numbers don't matter. So what happens is supply shifts up in the short run, and it's a proportionate shift to the rise in the marginal cost. But, and this is critical, notice price, the market price in the short run goes up, but not by the full amount of the rise in marginal cost. Because of the downward sloping demand curve, that increase in firm cost is, some of it's eaten by the firm and some of it is passed on to consumers, but not all of it, not in the short run anyway. All right, so what happens? So there's this new market price, and notice the feedback in the short run to the firm, that price has fallen. So firm level output will fall in the short run, and she was breaking even. Oh, I'm having trouble with my stylus here. Let me redo that a little bit. I'll redo that whole section of the average cost curve. These problems are easier if you make the average cost curve really a steep U. It's just not very pretty, is it? Let me try that one more time. There. Now let's hope I can reconstruct. Just exaggerating the U. I'm not having my best day as an artist here. The reason I'm exaggerating the U because I'm trying to emphasize that average total cost, this was price P0, this is price P1, this is average total cost 1, just for call it something. So Ileana is making a loss, other ice cream makers are making a loss. And so that's the end of the short run case. She's producing less output, still in business, but now running a loss. So as always, we finish the short run analysis and then we ask the question, what's going to happen in the long run? And this, if there's a short run profit, there's going to be entry, but a short run loss, there's going to be exit. How much exit? Well, the survivors are going to, if there are any, are going to be breaking even. So there's going to exit, it's going to have to keep happening until the market price has risen by enough that the survivors can break even. Otherwise, we'll just see this industry disappear. So market output falls still more, market price rises still more. Look at what happens to the firm. Price and demand go up to, this is D2. I forgot to label the demand in the short run demand. Call that D1. And just to emphasize the lessons out of the long run analysis, firms, the survivors are back to breaking even because of the long run exit. Oh, and let me just draw this to remind you, this shift is the long run exit. On the other hand, this shift, and I'm going to draw it vertically actually, this was the variable cost increase. All right, well that's going to need some practice. I highly recommend you do a variable cost decrease. Go ahead and give yourself a variable cost increase, but don't look at the screencast until after you're finished. Then you can see if you got it. The multiple colored pens really help you keep this analysis straight because there's so many steps. Do the short run, then do the long run separate.